All right, everyone, welcome to another edition of Prequel Origin Stories and Inflection Points. This is a special edition, episode 2 of the Google for Startup Latino Founders Fund. I am Joey Womack, founder, CEO of Goodie Nation. I'm super excited for today's show. Before we get into the origin stories, we think that they are important because it helps to develop relationships. And we know at Goodie Nation, we're all about closing what we call the relationship gap. And so when you're listening to these origin stories, start to figure out, some of the commonalities. These are the ways that you can build a relationship with founders and ultimately try to help them out in their journey. So let's get right to it. Gonna bring everybody up for some quick intros before we get into the origin stories. So we're gonna go Rickey, and then Pauline, and then Evo, and then Noelle, and kind of go from there. So Rickey, quick intro.
Hey guys, thank you for having me. My name is Rickey Regalado. I am based out of the Chicagoland area. Name of the company is Route, the platform. We service the commercial cleaning industry from a B2B SaaS marketplace perspective.
Awesome. Pauline?
Hi, everyone. I'm Pauline Roteta. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Pasito. I grew up in Argentina in a really small town and moved to the US when I was a teenager. And now I'm based out of the New York area. Pasito helps employees to choose and use their benefits, and we do it in a way that saves them and their employers a lot of money.
Awesome. Yo.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ivo Machado. I'm originally from Brazil. Now I'm living in Miami, Florida. My company is WiseCut. WiseCut does AI video editing. We use voice recognition to edit videos automatically and at scale. It's a great solution for YouTubers and for education videos as well.
Awesome. Noelle?
Hi, everyone. My name is Noelle Acosta. I'm the founder and CEO of Nula Health. I'm based here in Brooklyn, New York, originally from Northern California. And here at Nula, we provide personalized reproductive health information and support through affordable at-home testing, customized digital care plans, and one-on-one health coaching.
Awesome. Sergio?
Hi, everyone. So I'm from the Detroit/Chicago area. I go back and forth a lot. I'm the CEO and founder of Tiduli. We're the easiest way to hire young adults in your neighborhood for help with manual labor.
Awesome. And last but not least, Alejandra.
Hi, everyone. My name is Alejandra Molina, and I'm the co-founder of Bebook. Bebook is a language learning platform that transforms trusted content into easy-to-teach, gamified group exercises that help students or people, employees, improve their speaking skills.
Awesome. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say I'm based in New York.
Cool. Okay, so here's how it's going to work. We're going to go to each founder. They're going to have a few minutes to tell their origin story. Basically, how did they get to this point right now? We're going to start with Rickey. Rickey, take us away.
All right, guys. So like I said, I'm from Chicago, born and raised. I've been here my whole life, grew up here. I am a first-generation college graduate, first-generation entrepreneur. So there was no playbook for me. I did not. When I first got into being a small business owner, I did not really know what the hell I was doing. So my journey starts, though, in this industry almost 10 years ago. I opened up a cleaning company. It was, you can consider it a mom and pop. Me and my wife, my cousin, my father, my aunt were all my first employees, just the way it always is, right? Especially in the Mexican family. And we saw many struggles because you wear many hats as a small business owner, especially in the cleaning industry. As many people may not realize, your HR, sales, business development, recruiting, quality control, you wear a shit ton of hats, guys. And I learned every struggle on the way. And then Route, which is the platform in the company that I'm here speaking on, was born about 7 years into that journey. So 3 years ago, I got to an inflection point. I was up against the wall. We had accomplished a lot, surpassed the 1.5 million mark in sales at that point. But as I learned quickly in this industry, it's very fragmented. And many said, awesome, congratulations, great job, Rickey. You guys have done wonderful. This is a great point to be happy with, right? And what a lot of people meant by that is you hit this wall because it's tough to scale in our space. You can't grow much, right? Because there hasn't been much technology in our space. So I said, why? Why is that? I saw that the number one pain point for me was sales. I couldn't get everything out of my head and get it to my team and grow. I was stuck doing walkthroughs, proposals, and quoting every single day, 8 to 9, 10 hours a day. Checked the market, saw that there was really not much out there. There were CRMs, that's about it, but that really doesn't help you with the sale in our industry. So I tasked myself, being from Chicago, a big tech ecosystem, was why can't I build an app? Why can't I digitize this? Why can't I not leverage technology like other blue collar industries have leveraged technology? So I did it, right? Route was born. We started off with digitizing the walkthrough, which was never been done before. And then took that right down the path, right? Like we call it the sexy 1, 2, 3, where it's the walkthrough to the quoting to the proposal, deliver and win, right? So our motto is sell better, sell faster, sell together. And what that led to was people were accepting of it. People saw that my company, which my cleaning company, by the way, is called Regalado Services, family-owned business. We were growing, right? And I was credible because of that company continuing to grow. We went from 2 employees to year to date right now, we're at about 700 team members across 30 different states, and just growing at about a 350% year over year growth. My family business, right? How is that happening? Because I'm leveraging technology and I'm using Route, right? And now Route has evolved. Route is growing. Route 2.0 is being built right now. And I love being first generation in this. And what I mean by that is I'm learning a lot. There's a lot of challenges. Technology is very different than service business. Service business is you provide a great service, you send an invoice, you get paid. Technology, very different, especially when you're selling to different target markets, right? And you have to learn all this terminology. But I love it. I love the challenge. And I enjoy building technology for an industry that has changed my entire life, has changed my family. I have 22 family members in my family business, and I have a couple of them now overlapping and working with me in the technology business. But it's a fun environment. I'm having fun doing it. We are empowering the cleaning industry, which lacks a lot of technology and lacks really a lot of support from the investor space as well, right? It's not a sexy space, but I'll tell you what, it can be sexy, it can be lucrative if we just allow technology to be built for the small business owner, not the large business owners all the time, but the small ones, because 90% of the market is that small business owner that's a mom and pop that nowadays is black and brown, right? We were the workers. Now we are the ones building our own brands and building our own businesses. But we need help, and I'm excited to be able to offer that help and really turn Route into not just a tool, but a suite of tools that is going to positively impact our industry for years to come.
Awesome. How can the people get in contact with you?
You guys, my Instagram is at Rickey Regalado. My email is ricardo@getroute.com. And you can just find me on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is, just look up Rickey Regalado, and I'm there, guys. I'm here to help. I'm here to support. And I'm here to have fun.
Awesome. Love the story. Love the transition and love what you're learning. Next up, we have Pauline. So we're going to kick it over to you. How'd you get to where you are today?
Yeah. So for me, Pasitos was also started after a pretty personal story that set off a light bulb. So I'll take you back to 2 years ago. I was working at BlackRock, it's a big asset manager, and it was the pandemic. And my sister had a baby, first baby in the family. And I was lucky enough that I was working remotely and had the opportunity to go and stay with her for 6 weeks to give her an extra set of hands, which she very much needed. She was very exhausted at this point in time. So I pretty much moved in with her. And while I was there, I had the experience of being in her kind of intimate home, intimate conversations with her husband as they were talking about everything from healthcare to childcare to college savings to retirement savings and how they were going to make it all work. And one of the biggest issues that kept coming up was really how to leverage their benefits, and particularly their health benefits. I remember my sister very clearly spending hours on the phone on hold with insurance companies, just trying to navigate like what exactly she needed to do to, set up my niece onto her insurance policy, and, get set up with doctors and some of the other things that just needed to happen. And that was time she didn't have. It's incredibly overwhelming to deal with your benefits. And because of that, a lot of people just don't. And that means that a lot of times they're either overinsured or underinsured, and they're not selecting any of the ancillary benefits that can really serve as a financial safety net for them. it's a huge problem for employers too, because employees, if you ask anyone like what they think of their benefits, a lot of people will express that they hate them. And that's a really big problem for employers, because in the US, companies spend 10% of their entire business expenses on benefits for employees. So it's a ton of money that's being like essentially thrown down the toilet for something that people don't love and appreciate. And so that's really, how we got started at what sort of set us off on this path to go look for ways to make the market more efficient. And what ultimately led us to build a SaaS platform that takes in data like none does or none has before. We've taken data on finances, on benefits, on payroll, and we process that in a way to provide employees like highly personalized recommendations on what exactly they should choose, and then how they should use those benefits throughout the year to get the maximum value out of them. So it's a big value add for employees, and we also help employers to get people into the right benefits, which a lot of times means that they're saving money on their health expenses.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. So how can people get in contact with you?
I, similar to Rickey, you can find me on LinkedIn anytime. And you can also send me a DM on Twitter. And my Twitter is at Pauline Roteta. And on LinkedIn, I'm Pauline Roteta too. It's actually very easy to find me.
and also the website of the company.
Yes, we are joinpacito.com. And you can reach out. We are taking on new customers all the time. And we have a 79 NPS score from employees. So if you're looking to make an impact with your workforce, it's a great moment in time, because open enrollment is just around the corner.
Awesome. Amazing story. So next up, we have Ivo. Going on, good sir. How'd you get here?
Hello. So I'm not going to tell the whole story, how I came from Brazil to the US and became an entrepreneur, because that's too many inflection points. So basically, I'm a serial entrepreneur. This is my fourth company, my third startup company. I'm going to start that. So I was in Los Angeles. Besides being a serial entrepreneur, I have 15 years of experience in video editing. And I was in Los Angeles doing editing work. And I was in these big studios. And every day of my job, I was like, how can I make this 10 times better, or 10 times faster, or 10 times cheaper? And then the idea I was promoted to be a post-production supervisor, and we had to hire 10 editors to edit 10 hours of video. And don't get me wrong, editing talking videos 1 hour, 2 hours it's hard, and it takes a long time, because you have to listen to the whole audio to make these editing decisions. And that's when the idea came. What if we have an algorithm that could go through this audio in minutes and make these editing decisions? So that's when I called my brother, who is one of the best software developers that I know. And we started talking about this idea, how can you do this? And then by then I had no idea how to do it. But then as we've evolved, and with AI and speech to text technology, we were able to do this. So basically, Wiseclick goes through the audio and make this editing decision, like removing silences, removing filler sounds, create music around of your video, everything that makes your video more concise and engaging. And then what happened is we launched it to thousands of creators and YouTubers, and it was great. Then with the pandemic, one thing that we noticed that a lot of people started doing classes online, and they start using Wiseclick, because Wiseclick is great for voice, and classes is basically voice through, we are telling a story through voice. And that's also when we noticed is that when a group of education called us, they say, hey guys, we're actually doing 2,000 hours of video per day. We have a lot of students, 300,000 students, and my students are losing engagement. We are losing retention, because the videos of classes like 1 hour, 2 hours of video, and they're used to watch YouTube videos, which is more engaging. The YouTubers use all these techniques of editing that makes the video look great. And that's when we had the idea, okay, we have the opportunity now to do this at scale. With API, we can do this all these thousands of hours at once and edit this video and make it looking more engaging, more concise for the students. So now the students are going to be able to watch classes and have twice more time to watch another class or to rest if they want. And it's a great trend that we've been seeing since the pandemic, that the students have this opportunity to watch this recorded class and much more engaging after they go through Wiseclick.
That's awesome, man. And I can tell you, so to be clear, I don't edit videos. Let's be absolutely clear here. But I work with those who do. And I can definitely understand the pain point there. And I can see this. I know you're well on your way to be a very successful good sir. How can people get in contact with you or use the service?
Hey man, if you need Wisecut to edit all these videos, let me know. I'll hook you up. So basically it's wisecut.video. It's our website. If you want to contact me, you can go through LinkedIn. It's Ivo, I-V-O Machado, or you can even email me. My email is ivo@wisecut.video.
Awesome. Next up, we have Noelle. Noelle, what's the story? How'd you get here?
Yep. Hello. So very similar to Rickey and Pauline, my story really stems from a personal experience. To take a step back, I've always been very interested in women's health. I studied pre-med in undergrad. I'm a first-gen college grad as well, and really worked throughout my undergrad years. And part of the way I supported myself was through actually entrepreneurship. So I started a pet subscription box company and really scaled it to on my own with a couple $100s. And during my time in undergrad, I shadowed a couple OBGYNs. My goal was to become an OBGYN. And truthfully, I got spooked after shadowing them. They were incredibly burnt out. This was when I was a naive 20-year-old. They essentially shared that I'm not going to work for patients. I work for insurance companies. And one of them even left the profession entirely. And so I thought, okay, well, I was on the fence of whether I wanted to pursue med school from there. And I did enjoy building a business. So I decided, you know what, being in the heart of San Francisco, I was going to do the complete opposite and hop into tech sales before I was going to go save enough money to go back to or to apply to med school. And I ended up building and scaling my career with a variety of B2B SaaS companies and digital health unicorns, leading and scaling go-to-market sales syndicates to record-breaking revenue milestones, and really came full circle after I navigated my reproductive health as a woman of color. I was someone who had tremendous access to care, probably greater health literacy than the average American, being that I was pre-med. My partner is also a chemist, so we know how to decipher medical journals. And I also had high quality employer-sponsored health insurance. Yet when I found myself navigating this chronic pain that really disrupted my entire life, some days I couldn't stand up straight from cramping. I was vomiting from pain and completely fatigued. Yet when I would go to the doctor, I was the 1 in 5 women that was dismissed and rushed in the doctor's office. So despite having all of these resources, I really felt like my experience was truly transactional. My doctor's responses were to take birth control, which I was already on. And so like 70% of millennials, I ended up just turning to Google for my medical support. I spent hours researching the internet, reading medical journals about what could potentially be wrong with my body. I went through this emotional roller coaster where I thought maybe this is just my head, maybe this is just the way my body's supposed to be. And finally, after 7 months of this chronic pain and condition, I went back to the doctor's office, really advocating for myself. I demanded an ultrasound and essentially self-diagnosed myself. And they ended up finding 45 cysts on my left ovary. And so I was frustrated and angry with the system. I thought, if this is what I went through as a Latina Asian woman who has access to care and the know-how to advocate for myself, I can't imagine what people who look like me go through in a similar scenario who don't have that access to care. They face location barriers, cost barriers, or even the know-how to advocate for yourself in that situation. So I sought out to build Nula Health. And really our goal is to center the individual at their care, because reproductive health impacts every aspect of our life. It's not just a physical journey, it's emotional, it's mental, and it's entirely different for everyone. So I spoke to over 250 birthing people, and while there were similarities in terms of their frustrations or the gaps that I experienced in the healthcare system here in the US, not one single story was similar. So we should not be treating every patient as this transactional system today where patients are in and out of the doctor's office in under 15 minutes, and it's a very much textbook transactional experience. And so here at NULA, we are empowering patients to really take control of their health on their terms and receive the support so that the system works in favor for them, not the other way around. And we do that through personalized at-home testing, so members can get a unique personalized snapshot into their baseline reproductive health, in-app digital care plans that are customized to their goals, and culturally competent one-on-one health coaching that's available anytime at their fingertips.
Now, that's a powerful story. And thank you for sharing that, and thank you for the work you're doing.
Thank you.
Super excited for what's next for you. So how can the people get in contact with you? How can they do business with you?
Yeah, absolutely. You can connect with me on Twitter, connect with me on LinkedIn. Our website is nula.com. We are currently looking for beta users. We launched our public beta in May, and of our beta users, over 95% have shared that if they were to no longer have access to NULA Health in their journey, they would be very disappointed. So we would love to be your personalized partner as you navigate your reproductive health, whether that's just managing your general health as a woman on a path to pregnancy, pregnant, or recently postpartum.
Awesome. Next up, we have Sergio. Sergio, you know the drill at this point. How'd you get here, good sir?
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me. First off, pretty impressed by everyone. It's just so interesting to have people, in the same room that have very similar stories. So similarly to everybody else, Tiduli is an evolution of my personal story. I was born in Chile, and my father actually, he started electrical engineering, but he always wanted to be a doctor. He started doing medical research down in South America. And for that reason, he just happened to have done something meaningful enough in Chile that the NIH heard about him. And within 6 months, when I was 12 years old, my whole family was moved to the United States. But just for context, where I grew up in Chile, my elementary school, the hospital, the police station, and my house were all within a 3-block radius. And our milk and cheese was still delivered by horse. So just to give you a sense of, like where I came from, when I landed in Detroit, which is where my family moved, it was the first time I saw a highway, and I saw just like a ton of vehicles. My dad learned how to drive a car in his 40s, and it was just like a crazy transition. But obviously, I was able to assimilate well enough that now I'm able to raise venture capital and build a tech business, which is just to me an amazing thing that I could do for my family, to help build that generational wealth and just really be that example for future generations to come. But anyways, how did I get to Tiduli? So when I moved here, right away I started hustling. So I realized how easy, I guess, it would be to make money here at 12, just raking leaves, pulling weeds, and doing manual labor for my neighbors' lawns. So I knocked on doors, I grabbed a rake, and I did, whatever I could to make a little bit of extra money. When I went to high school, turned 16, I was able to buy my own car, with the money that I was making, and I was saving up doing this type of work. And then eventually I went to college. Like Noelle, I was also pre-med. So I actually studied biomedical physics, and my intention was to become a pediatric reconstructive surgeon. And I very much wanted to do that, until the point that I incorporated this company. But what happened was my girlfriend at the time, when I graduated, she said, Sergio, since you and I have been dating, you won't shut up about this app idea. All you talk about is this app idea. And at the time, Tiduli was nothing more than just this idea that had been cooking up in my head for like the last, 7 years or so since I started doing this work. But I was really thinking of a platform for gig work or manual labor that was built from the perspective of the laborers or the people that actually do the work. Most platforms in market right now are actually built from the demand side perspective. And I believe, that is a missed opportunity, which is why we haven't necessarily seen a big winner in this particular industry. So decided to give the idea a shot. We incorporated the business the week after I went through my graduation ceremony with the intent that it would be a summer experiment. And if we got a little bit of traction, I might take a gap year before med school and do that whole thing. And, a summer turned into a year, which now turned into over 4 years. And I this is the most rewarding thing I've ever done. So Todoly is essentially the easiest way for you to hire young adults from your neighborhood for help with manual labor, things like raking leaves, pulling weeds, setting mulch. And our vision is to build the largest professional development pipeline in the United States. And what I mean by that is most young people, young adults like myself, they actually have no interest in being gardeners or doing manual labor. They're way more ambitious than that, right? They want to be doctors, lawyers, venture capitalists, singers, artists. So Todoly really is meant to be a side hustle forever, right? It is just meant to be there for you as an additional resource to help you get formative work experience and as a stepping stone into the next professional development milestone. And that's, how we're different, how we're positioning ourselves uniquely within this market. And everything we are building, every feature is with that intent, at its core. So the best way to get in contact with me is to email me at Sergio, Sergio, at Todoly, which is my shirt, .com.
Awesome. Amazing story. I love the path and the connection to what you're doing now to the past and stuff like that. Okay. So we have the last but certainly not the least guest, Alejandra. You know the deal. What's the story? How'd you get here?
Awesome. So yeah, my name is Alejandra Molina. My experience is I'm the co-founder of Beboop. I am originally from Peru, and prior to starting Beboop, my language skills allowed me to live and study and work in 14 countries in 4 continents. I finished high school being fluent in English and Spanish and French, and then through my college years, I became fluent also in Mandarin. Lived in China for 2 years, then came back to US to graduate. And after graduation, I met my co-founder at an entrepreneurship event, and we were both pitching language learning companies. And the reason for that is because we both saw that the existing apps and language learning methods that were available for the people were not as accessible, as scalable, or as effective at helping people reach a spoken fluency as we wanted it. Like, we were really frustrated. Like, after having the opportunity of living in all these countries and actually being immersed in the language, I came back to the US and I was like, I couldn't find what I was looking for. And same with my co-founder, he did use an app for years. And when I tried to talk to him in Spanish, it was the same feeling of it's that gap, spoken fluency. And yeah, that's why we started in 2018 with the first product that was medical Spanish. So Beboop was created to help break down the gap between healthcare providers and Spanish-speaking patients. So this was literally a little bit before the pandemic. So we were already seeing how our community was impacted by the language barrier. And that's why we offer, even during the pandemic, COVID-19 modules for healthcare professionals that wanted to learn how to speak about them in Spanish. And yeah, we were able to get paid customers. We have a online community of 140,000 members all around the world that want to learn Spanish. We did switch from medical afterwards to Spanish for different subjects, and we did business, we did travel, we did conversational, entertainment, and now we came to the second phase, which is that we, after testing the platform and actually getting customers and all of that, we realized that there was also a market opportunity for the people that wanted to learn English. So we're in that stage that people launched the platform to teach English, which helps companies to retain, upskill, and recruit their Spanish-speaking employees. And that's how people now started teaching English. The one thing that is very exciting about Beboop is that it's very exciting. It's very adrenaline fuel. The classes are 25 minutes long. They're not your average class of language learning. It's all about speaking. It feels like a hot potato game. And it was exactly what we were both, me and my co-founder, looking for when we were trying to remain fluent in the languages that we learned when we were younger. So yeah, we've been very passionate. After getting all the opportunities that I got to explore the world at such a young age, it really showed me I'm a true advocate that language learning can open so many doors for you. especially like unlock so many economic opportunities, especially the English language. So that's what we've been doing. We have classes available now for people for free, and we also partner with companies that want to offer our services for the employees. And yeah, like the best way to experience the fun and excitement our students feel when taking Spanish or English classes with us is by joining a class. And you can all join a class. In Spanish, we have classes every 30 minutes, every day of the week. And that's if you go into book.bbook.us. And if you want to learn English with us, is habla.bbook.us, like habla, like HABLA. And you can learn more about bbook as well on bbook.us. And yeah, like this has been always my passion. Language learning truly makes a difference. I wouldn't be here talking to you guys in English if it wasn't because of my language skills. So yeah, that's me.
Awesome. So this is an amazing episode. I learned a lot, and honestly, if you're out there listening and watching, hope you all saw some common connection points. I hope you all saw a little bit of yourselves in these amazing founders. And so I just have one ask, quite honestly. I have one ask: support them, right? And so when I say support, what I mean is going to the website here, goodienation.org/Latino Founders Fund, scrolling through the profiles, click on the card, go to their website, go to their LinkedIn profile, try to get introduced to them, and try to figure out a way, right? Try to figure out a way to connect them to a potential capital provider. Try to figure out a way to connect them to a potential user, a customer, or a partner. If you can just dedicate yourself to spending 1 hour, right? 1 hour this week while you're watching this episode to figuring out how you can support these amazing founders and the rest of their cohort mates, will make the world a better place. And then eventually start thinking about doing that every month, right? All the other founders in the Goodie Nation program, or just any other entrepreneur that you are aware of, especially those from diverse backgrounds or those that are making the world a better place through social entrepreneurship. If you could do that over 6 months, I firmly believe it'll turn into a habit. And then after it turns into a habit, our community turns into a culture of supporting these amazing entrepreneurs. This is what it means when we say to be intentionally good, right? So thank you all for listening, for watching, for engaging. Please support these awesome founders and wish them good luck in their founder journey and become allies. So until tomorrow, the next episode of the Google for Startups Latino Founders Fund Origin Story session,